929-8000.
All right, how now, Dow Jones? Back to our market experts, Jerry Bowyer, Quentin Hardy, Vince Farrell, and Jim Paulson. Jim Paulson, what I'd like to do is say, you know, we lost 150 points on Friday, and we lost 250 points today, but it's all in the normal order of correction in what is really the beginnings of a bull market. Now, that's what I want. I don't always get what I want, Jim. How do you see it?
Well, I think that this is a market coming into this morning that was ready for a sell-off after a prolonged run, Larry. Really, when you think about it, I'm not sure there was that much news out here today that we didn't know. Did we not know that maybe more banks needed capital before Geithner said that this weekend? Did we not know that the auto industry was headed for some kind of liquidation or merging? And so I don't know if there's that much new news. I just think the market was ready for a sell-off. There's still a number of good things here, Larry, going on, I think. Even today's sell-off was on relatively low volume. It was what some of the sectors that led today was retailers going to new relative high, tech stocks leading again on a relative basis. So you've got still a lot of the cyclicals that are continuing to lead this run even in the pullback today. You've got some better economic reports recently, your mustard seeds, if you will. We'll see if we get some more of those.
Yeah, by the way,
week.
It's just on that point, not to interrupt, but yeah, the February numbers came in much better than expected, at least in a bunch of areas. Not all, but some. A chart from our friend Michael Darda, who mentioned this in his report this morning. I've talked about the balance sheet of the Fed exploding. Now, the money supply M2, this is the Friedman money supply, and we've deflated it. Mr. Darda talked about real M2, is rising very substantially for the first time in a couple of years. It's up, if I read that correctly, about 22% at an annual rate over the past 6 months. Now, I just want to ask, and let me go to Quentin Hardy. Quentin, are you impressed with that kind of leading indicator? That's a very stimulative money supply trend. Can that get us to the bull market?
I am impressed by it. I am pleased by it. I am not surprised, and I won't be surprised if we go down from here, Larry, because this is an historic bear market. It's down 50% off its high. When you get into that kind of turf, you overshoot value. It's very hard to stimulate. I told you a week ago I thought it was going down from here. You know, I think long-term it's a good value here, but the fact is people are suspicious. They don't know which end is up. They don't know how to go forward, and that's the kind of climate into which they tend to sell. We might go to 6,000 from here.
All right. What would turn you around, Quentin? I mean, what would you look for? And help us with that signal from your standpoint.
It's one of these spooky, theatrical moments of despair. You know, all the pundits line up and say, we'll never recover. That's when the market recovers.
If Barack
it's just like that.
If Barack Obama appoints a CEO businessman to his cabinet, would that make you more optimistic? As far as I know, there's nobody in his top group that's ever met a payroll, Quentin.
Well, you know, how many politicians run companies well? How many guys come from corporate America and do politics well? I'm not sure that makes a difference. Let me say this, though. You know, in this whole discussion about national policy around car companies, no one has mentioned what's the biggest car company in the world? What's the most consistently profitable car company in the world? It's Toyota.
Yeah.
You think they have industrial policy in Japan? You bet.
Yeah, but their success, Jerry Bowyer, is in the United States.
Right.
Which is
right.
a kind of the free market.
They have industrial policy in Japan, but they make money in America where they don't. Where up until yesterday, we didn't have industrial policy. Industrial policy, for Pete's sake, come on, Quentin. Do you really think, after looking at Japan's now going on 2 lost decades, that Japanese industrial policy works? Come on.
Jerry, I was there for 6 years. I think I know a little bit about it.
Well, next time pay attention when you're there for 6 years, because it didn't work. You see the stagnation in Japan. I don't care whether you were there or not. Who cares?
Hey,
Jerry, let me jump in
Quentin?
On the market for a sec,
Jerry. Let me jump in on the market. Quentin said the market's got to overshoot. From peak to trough, we're off, Larry, 58%. That is an
That's pretty good.
That is an overshot. And you need capitulation. I think we all want capitulation, but you very rarely see it. And the classic case was in October and December of 1974, where the market simply stopped going down, started going up. You very rarely get capitulation. Yeah. This market doesn't accommodate that.
What about this argument? This is interesting. One of the news services, a gang called Helmsman Global Trading, with all respect, I don't know them, but I'm reading their work. They're saying we are repeating a triple dip pattern that heralded the start of the big rally in 2003, which was a 5-year bull market, which I might add made up the 50% loss from the tech bubble. Now, this is a triple bottom, and they're saying September was the first, September last year. Lehman Brothers Holdings. The second one was the start of this year, and we're about to have the third. Right. Do you buy this triple bottom stuff?
It's always a triple bottom, Larry. Go back to almost every bear market you've had. You have three distinct probes down to find out if a low is indeed a bottom. That's why I've been talking about this bottoming process taking a year.
Are you selling or buying after today's drop?
I'm a buyer on a selected basis of BAA corporate bonds, of large cap stocks that have raised their dividends, tech stocks, and selected energy
Jim
stocks.
Paulson, last word. Are you a seller or buyer on today's sell-off?
I'm a buyer, Larry. I think there's too many good things to just be lost in all the minutia. There's too much policy stimulus. We got refi elevated and consistently higher. We got money growth. We got $1 trillion of fiscal stimulus. We got a low-valued stock market. You got to be a buyer.
Even though the reflation trade kind of got hammered the last 2 days. Commodities down, copper down, oil down. A lot of people were counting on reflation.
It's never going to be a straight line.
Huh?
It's never going to be a straight line, but I think there's too many positive forces here.
All right, I got to get out of here. Jerry Bowyer, did you notice the strength of the dollar? I just want to put that in there for the running inflationism by my supply side friends.
Not inflation now, inflation later, not now.
Strong dollar.
I can't wait for inflation.
Strong dollar, Quentin. Strong dollar. I like the strong dollar.
I believe in a strong dollar.
I'm with the Chinese,
and I do believe,
Quentin.
I love a strong dollar, and I do believe this is a good value, but you got to have nerves of steel because it's going to test below here.
All right, nerves of steel. I appreciate it. Jerry Bowyer, Quentin Hardy, Vince